Hello, can you hear me?
Ouais. Vous écoutez-moi?
Okay. I can hear you properly. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup pour votre présence. Et maintenant en anglais, s'il vous plaît. This is the CNIL, which is the French equivalent of our ICO, the French privacy regulator, and well known as one of the most energetic and engaged privacy regulators in the world. À vous, monsieur. Antoine.
Okay, thank you very much. I will try to share my screen right now, and I hope this will work properly. I am sorry for not being physically present today, but I have some medical problems here, which block me from traveling. Wait a second. Where is the PowerPoint for this summit? I think it is this one. And you should probably see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Is it working properly?
Yes, we can see it well. Yeah.
Okay.
You need to put it in slideshow mode. Yeah.
Slideshow mode. Okay.
Voila.
Thank you very much. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending this presentation. As it was just said, I will today talk from the perspective of the French Data Protection Authority, so the CNIL, and I will talk about wallet-based age assurance, their privacy benefits, and the challenges posed by their implementation. I am very happy to speak again at this conference. I was here 2 years ago, physically in Manchester, and a long way has been walked since then in both the UK and the European Union, as well as the rest of the world. So, as you probably all know already, age verification and age assurance is moving from concept to deployment in many places in the world. And the first point I wanted to make is that in some contexts, age verification is legally or operationally required, and age estimation may not be sufficient for some thresholds, such as making the difference between minors aged 15, 16, 18, based on some national legislations or terms and conditions of different platforms. And therefore, age verification is specifically moving into deployment. I have seen that there were some presentations yesterday by the European Commission, I believe, and that there were announcements from the lead of the European Commission that the age verification app provided by the EU is technically ready and should be soon available for EU citizens and also citizens from or people living in the European member states. And in this context, it's important to note that Europe is building this age verification app in the framework of its identity wallets, which is an interoperable framework supported by international standards, both from the OpenID Foundation for exchange protocols and presentation protocols, and from ISO standards for things like the data models, like the MDoc format, also used in the United States for the mobile driver license and such digital identity documents. And in the European Union, national deployments are now being prepared. This includes deployments in France, of course, but also Germany, Denmark, Greece, Italy, Spain, either using the age verification app or using national apps that are compatible, but not necessarily exactly the same as the EU age verification app that has been presented, I believe, yesterday by the European Commission in the summit. In France, our Ministry of Interior is building its own app, which will be compatible both with the sources of age verification and with the ecosystem of age verification in general as part of the European framework. And discussions are made with countries outside of Europe for, of course, a more interoperable solution. So now, before getting into the core of my talk, I guess most of you already know this, but why are data protection authorities invested? We're the French Data Protection Authority is not the only data protection authority that is very invested in the subject of age assurance. But why is it so important to have privacy built in the solutions used for age assurance? Well, first of all, every age assurance solution, be it age verification or age estimation, rely on high value data, whether identity documents, selfies, biometric data, or records from banks or mobile operators are all high value data that can attract uh, malicious attackers and become breach material. And once data is breached, data can become available in the wild, and people are becoming more sensitive to further fraud and attacks to their identity, because the problem with identity data is that you cannot change your data. Once your ID, your selfie, your biometric data has been breached, it's not as easy as changing your email address, even though changing your email address or phone number is not so easy sometimes. It is also important to note that even temporary collection of identity data creates risk, because every time you transfer data or you copy data for some reason, it creates an additional target. Probably most of you have heard about recent data breach from Discord. They had all the proper guarantees in place. They were collecting data only very temporarily in order to check the age of their users, but they had some kind of side third-party customer service for people who were appealing because they were considering that their age was not properly processed by the system. And this third-party customer service was keeping records of identity data, and I believe more than 70,000 identity documents were stored by this customer service platform and were breached and released in the wild. So the risks are not hypothetical, but the deployment of age assurance is already creating targets and therefore data leaks, which is why privacy and privacy by design matters a lot. Not only because it is important for security, but also because it is important for trust. I can tell you from a data protection perspective, I work in a data protection agency, and we people are not so concerned about their privacy. It is sometimes surprising to me how much users are willing to share a high amount of data to a large number of actors in the internet and in the wild. But when it comes to identity verification and even age verification and age assurance, a lot of people are reluctant and saying, maybe I will change and switch to a platform that is less intrusive when they feel that what is asked from them is too intrusive and they do not wish to provide this data in exchange for the service that they are trying to access. So user acceptance is very important, and it partly depends on the architecture that is deployed and the fact that people can trust the way their data is handled, what they share, and with whom they share their data. Um, the challenge, of course, and this is from also, let's say, democracy perspective, is it is important to protect children and from the harms that the internet may cause them, but it is also important to protect the society from a surveillance kind of way of using social media and the internet in general. So the main message that we've been pushing for, I guess, at least 5 or 6 years now that we're invested in age assurance, is that proving age is not the same as proving identity. And as much as possible, only the relevant age-related information should be disclosed to the people who need it, and not the identity of the people who are trying to access a service. This, of course, means that it should be systematic identity disclosure should be avoided, and people should not get used to proving their identity everywhere they go, be it in the physical world or in the online world. Again, this is very important in order to make the system acceptable to users. Users do not want to give their identity to everybody, especially in the form of a government issued identity. And they would not understand why they need to show their identity where it is only important to show their age. The CNIL, so the French Data Protection Authority, and is part of the European Data Protection Board, the EDPB. And for several years, CNIL, the EDPB, but also other data protection authorities in Europe and in the world have been pushing for a logic of privacy by design and data protection by design, which is part of the GDPR, EU GDPR, and I believe also of the UK GDPR. And this privacy by design for us involves a clear distinction of the roles, separating who requires identity data in order to create a proof of age. And this should be only trusted third parties, parties that are able to process identity data without creating a large surface attack for identity data, and the role of a service provider, which is who relies on a proof of age to let users access their service, such as a social media or a pornographic website or gambling website, etc. In this regard, we have been pushing at the CNIL for quite some years now what we called the double anonymity or double blind logic, and the idea that, first of all, the online service only have to know the age information it needs, and the age verification provider. So it goes further than just a separation of roles, but also a separation of who knows what. The age verification provider, the entity that is processing identity data, does not know which service is being accessed by the individual. So that if I give my identity data to a age verification provider, I tell, hello, I'm Antoine Gaume, I work at the CNIL, and I am currently over 18. Look at my ID card. You do not know why I need the proof of age. Am I addicted to gambling? Am I using some kind of social media with a political orientation, or am I accessing certain type of sexual content? This is not of your concern, and therefore you should not know which service I use using the proof of age. This double-blind logic have been cited by the European Commission guidelines over the Digital Services Act as a good practice in order to gain user trust and develop the most privacy by design solutions. Of course, it is not the only way a good age assurance system can work, but the key, let's say, the key principle that I wanted to focus on here is compartmentalization, so separation of roles and of the data processed and the information known, minimal disclosure to the service providers because they will be the largest numbers of actors. The identity and age assurance providers are usually smaller actors, well identified and with certifications and respecting standards. But the number of actors that may need proof of age can be quite large, and they should only receive the minimal amount of data in order to limit the possibility of correlating the uses of one user and correlating its identity with any other information that may be sensitive. Now, my presentation was called Digital Wallets, Privacy Benefits and Implementation Challenges. So let's get into this part, and let me explain why digital wallets are attractive for age assurance, even though they cannot cover all the cases and are not a silver bullet. First of all, A wallet can hold a lot of data because you can store some kind of government ID issued identity card, but you can also store some attestation provided by your university or your bank or your mobile phone provider. And from this data, you can select what data you want to disclose to a service that requires you to make an age check. So this means you can even store in your wallet some information provided by a age estimation provider, be it a third-party age estimation provider or on-device age estimation provider. Store it in the wallet and then use it for a relying party. So the selective disclosure and the minimal disclosure of information to the relying party is at the core of the functionality of the wallet, which is of course one of the things that we are looking for. Second thing is that digital wallets are better at separating the roles between the actors because they place the user, the holder of the wallet, at the center of the game, let's say, of the process between the issuer, the age verification provider or identity data provider, and the service, the relying party that needs to check the age. As the user is more central to the process, they also have more control over their data, but also over the trust that they give to which provider or which service, because you can decide that you will use the proof of age from one given service, age verification provider for one kind of use. For example, I will use my government ID, government issued proof of age, but only for social media identification and, for example, online. How do you say that? My English is leaving me when you need to buy things online. So you need to prove your age to buy, for example, alcohol. But you do not want to use your government issued data to go on pornographic websites. And for this use, you will try to find another provider that you trust to be more distinct from your government, and therefore you will have more control, which is also important in regards to certain countries or citizens with specific concerns. But as I said, wallets are definitely not a silver bullet, and a lot of their strengths and privacy benefits are depend on implementation and how they are built. Um, and I would state some of these challenges on which, of course, a lot of private and public actors are working, be it companies providing digital identity wallets or the European Union and standardization bodies, both in ISO and other international groups. The first challenge is unlinkability. If we want to build the most perfect privacy by design architecture, minimal disclosure of information is not enough if presentations are linkable, which means if the person I'm showing my proof of age can track my behavior based on this proof of age, because I use the same proof of age all the time. And even though you don't know exactly who I am, you know exactly when I come to your website, when I come back to your website, and based on some kind of third-party cookies, for example, when I am visiting other websites with the same proof of age. And even though it may not be directly linked to your identity, it may be linked to an advertisement profile, and it may be linked to you in the broader sense than just the fact that you are over 18, over 15, or over 16, and you may not want this correlation to happen. So here the challenge is how can we make the proof of age that are provided and issued by the wallet unlinkable toward relying parties, be it a single relying parties that should relying party. So an online service should not be able to track repeated uses of your wallet, and also by different relying parties that should not be able to know that you are the same user visiting, for example, I don't know, Facebook and other social media and this gambling site or other AI website that necessitates a proof of age. And it would be even better if this unlinkability could also be a given, even if there were data breaches happening at the relying party and the age verification provider, which is cryptographically feasible, but not that easy to implement in practice. Another challenge of uh, wallets is what we call user binding. So the question is, who is actually using the wallet? Because the wallet may hold a valid proof. I may have proven that I am over 18, and I may have stored this proof in the wallet, but the wallet may be used by another person than myself. The proof may have been issued to a person that is not the person using the wallet, and therefore sharing remain possible. A parent, a sibling, or a friend that is over 18 may store a proof in my wallet and allow me to prove my age, which is not my age, but the age of another person. And the question remains to know how acceptable this is and how much of a biometric linkage, so something that proves that I am the proper holder of a digital proof of age, is necessary to use the proof of age to a given to send the proof of age to a given online service in order to make sure that I am the proper person to whom the proof has been issued. And this also have some possible ways to solve it, but they require slightly more complex work and are not always taken into account in the design of digital identity architectures. Um, and therefore, even though wallets may be a great tool for privacy, they may not be the greatest tool if they are not robust enough to resist misuse and sharing of proofs, especially if they're shared not just to parents or siblings, which is something doable physically as well, but if they can be shared online. Of course, and I've been talking about trust for several slides now. The user acceptance and trust is very important. And it's not only at the wallet level that it matters, but also at the verification that the proof is a proper proof of age. Because even if my wallet is a perfectly privacy preserving wallet and I am showing only a perfectly privacy preserving proof of age to a service, if the social media or other website I am showing this proof calls my government and say, hey, I just received this proof of age. Can you make sure that this proof of age is a valid one and validate it for me? I have here a little number of the proof of age that allows me to, should allow you to identify the user and tell me if it is indeed an 18 plus user. This is a verification process that is flawed and badly designed because the rest of the process is therefore uh, which has been designed with privacy in mind, is losing all its value because the verification of the proof is leaking a lot of personal data, for example, to the issuer of the proof of age.
Will you be
Uh,
drawing to a close because we're nearly up with time and people
yes,
may want
I
a
have
question?
one. I have one more slide
Okay,
after
go
this
ahead.
one. So verification should not reintroduce correlation, especially if wallets and presentation architectures have been properly designed. Um, Last but not least, implementation challenge for wallets is the fact that users may have may be diverse, and accessibility is very important. Not everyone has a recent smartphone, and there are a lot of solutions that currently depend on having a recent high-end device with the latest security update and maybe an account in the proper websites, and some users may not want to use these. And the wallets should not depend on closed ecosystems because it is very important that users from different countries, backgrounds, and digital literacy um, can use the systems that are provided to them, especially if they are provided by public bodies like governments or the European Union. For these reasons, other solutions, such as fully online solutions, cloud-based wallets, interactive age assurance, or hybrid wallets, should exist to support older devices, non-mainstream phones, or people who do not have smartphones at all at their disposal. So this was today's point, that while it's attractive to make age assurance and especially age verification feasible with privacy in mind, but they are not a silver bullet. They will not fill everybody. Alternatives should exist, and proper implementation of such wallets are key to make the privacy benefits a reality. Thank you very much.
Merci
And
beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
I am open to questions from the
Is
floor.
any questions or comments to CNIL? I mean, it's an exceptionally thorough presentation. There you are at the back.
Hi, this is Ferenc from CNIL Labs. I'm a wallet developer. I'm actually interested in knowing your opinion on the European Union solution for age verification, because that I feel does not address your concerns. Essentially, the shifting of liability, how the onboarding works, the technology is being used, the level of assurance. So there's just so many questions that arise from the European Union's version. Thank you.
Yeah. So I agree with you that at the moment I have not seen a solution that provides everything that we would like to see in a perfect wallet solution. We are happy that the EU solution has been developed and will be released. We're happy with a lot of properties that have been included in the solution. And we have been trying to have some influence on the most impactful from our perspective on privacy. But I agree that there is still some work to be done to have proper level of privacy, proper level of robustness, and proper accessibility in this solution. And for this reason, I am also happy that some other wallet solution exists, both from private companies or other public actors. For example, in France, the wallet is developed locally, and we will not be using neither the European wallet solution nor the age assurance age verification app. And I guess the French solution has some advantages and drawbacks compared to the European solution. And private solutions also will have some advantages and drawbacks. And I don't believe there will be one solution that have everything, and users should be able to choose the best solution for them. And I think this will help if this requires that these wallets follow the same standards for data exchange, so that people can choose the solution that fits their needs the most.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, Andrew, you ready to rock and roll?
Pretty much. Let's let everyone get out and go.